Welcome to Envirotube. This is part 2 of Visit the Wildflower Garden. The first time we were here, we were amazed at the diversity, but we couldn't squeeze it into one clip. That's how much there is here. So I hope you enjoy this next clip. Look at that raven. It's obviously a bit thirsty. I wonder what they're eating. I think they're having a little bit of a drink. I think they're getting stuck into the nectar. And if that nectar ferments a little bit, who knows, it might even be getting drunk.
Well, some of them do on the xantharies, don't
It's
they?
a worry, isn't it?
We're doing well with the birds, aren't we? I think he's aware of us.
Here we have a really interesting plant, a Petunia. Now, the first time I saw a Petunia, I thought I'd made a botanic breakthrough. I ran to my boss and said, I found a yellow grevillea. And in fact, how embarrassing. It's actually yellow, it looks like a grevillea, but completely different species and very well known. Now, if you look at the Petunia, the flowers are finished, but you can see the drupes or the fruit. Now, apparently they're edible. I tried to eat one day, and Jill was just telling me that if they turn black and fall on the ground, that's when to eat them. Well, I knew better than that, so I put one in my mouth, had a go, and it sucked all the moisture out of my mouth. It was like I just kissed the Gobi Desert. I would recommend against doing that. Pomidaris langigera, not a common garden plant. Don't know why, it looks very spectacular. It's the sort of plant I would expect would be loved by native insects. Can't see many at the moment, but I suspect it'd be very popular. This is a Phylota phyllocoides.
Easily distinguished from the other peas by their yellow stalks. It's a legume, which means it fertilises, when it dies, it fertilises the soil with nitrates.
Because it's leguminous, it actually fixes nitrogen in the soil, so it's actually good for your garden. If you're going to wander around the wildflower garden, unless you're a botanist or unless you've got some sort of encyclopedic knowledge of plants, you're going to need a book to actually help identify what you're looking at.
Here's something I think is interesting, the green fruit.
Jill Dalton is a plant expert and she's helping me identify these plants because there are so many. There's more individual species of plants here than in the whole of Great Britain. So to actually have any chance of identifying a vast number of these things, you really need to know what you're talking about. Now, with me, I've got a couple of books. These books are pretty critical. Even with Jill's knowledge, she has to refer to these books from time to time just to make sure she's got it right. These are the two we happen to have today. These aren't like the Bibles of wildflower books, but you've got to have something. I hope you enjoyed this Envirotube. Just goes to show that just because land isn't suitable for farming doesn't mean that it's not filled with biodiversity. The only reason we even have a wildflower garden is the early settlers here couldn't farm it, so they left it as natural bushland. And this natural bushland is metre by metre amazing in terms of biodiversity compared to so many other places in the world. The wildflower garden is very special. Sydney's very special. I hope you enjoyed this Envirotube.